to place back things in their order. And this is not an ideology, it is a fact. You can actually look at dates, which I don't have here because I haven't taken the time to write those dates, but I'm pretty sure my margin of mistake in these conversations are very, very, very small. Very, very small. So phase 5 and 6, I would say you would have those two guys, Kofi, Maporisa, and the Nigerian brothers, Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, who embraced the sound, who actually give us another sort of rich. But because Nigerians are so very strong with owning whatever they take, they quickly managed to add their flavor, which, if you remember, there was the what was it? Ghana, what was it? It was the Ghana, Ghana bounce, whatever. There was a Ghana sound, which now has, I think there was Alzonto. Remember the Alzonto phase, right? There was a bit of a competition, but then Niger music just took over. In the meantime, what the Ghanaians managed to do, and all of these sounds are connected, but we would have to do another conversation, right? But if you're looking at the competition between Alzonto and Niger music, right, Afro beats, and let's also remember, why did they call it Afro beats? They added an S to make a slight difference between that and Afrobeat, the Fela, the King Seniade, the Tony Allens, etc., to say, okay, Afrobeat is the modern version of Afrobeat. Okay, cool. Which eventually turns into being Niger music, but anyways, Afrobeats. That's in Nigeria, that's how they understand it. However, if you go to the UK or some of these countries, for them, Afro House is Afrobeats. You understand? So from one country to another, the interpretation of the word is completely different. And that's understandable, right? Because if you listen to it, it's Afrobeats, as in African beats. But it's cooler to say Afro and then beats. All right, cool. So Afro House benefits from that slight, error of interpretation and gets mixed with the Afrobeats, which allows us to kind of enter the radio world in some radio stations in the UK and around the world, right? By mistake, technically. But this goes to show you how much Afro House has been shitted on for many, 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 many years. And still is to a certain extent today, because still to this day, now, if you listen, if people say, oh, you do Afro House, in their mind, it's not the Afro House you understand. If you actually know what the sound is, it's Afro Tech. Because Afro Tech has replaced Afro House. And if you do the actual Afro House as we know it, just like if you were to produce a proper house record or a deep house record, there's a significant difference. But if you're not educated about it, you won't notice it necessarily. So from that point on, if you do this Afro House original or supposedly authentic, because there's not so much of an authentic Afro House sound. There is, but there's no more because there's so many mixes and melange, which I actually love. And I'm one of the reasons why this shit is happening as well, because I've always had the pleasure to fuck shit up. I loved, doing things that was going against the grain. So I'm glad, inspired a whole new generation of producers to do their own thing and to say fuck the rules and let's create our own rules, and I think that's great. But the point is we still gotta tell the history, we still gotta, again, put things back into their context and their order. So phase 5 and 6, I would say, as I said earlier, Kofi, Maporisa. And that's 2017, as I said. 2017, you start to have as well around that time, Jeff. Jeff is really, Jeff from Angola, or back then known as Jeff Afrozilla, is established a name for himself, released a couple of dope records, and he's starting to really, step away from the rest or stand out from the rest of the producers from Angola. Not saying that it's better or that, no. It's just it stands out because of the way he's positioning his branding. And you'll understand something here. That's phase 6 now. That's to show you how fast things have moved. But that's the thing. Whenever there's something that comes up that gets shined more light upon, it obviously takes away from seeing what is happening around the same time. And then boom, Angola is starting to stick out, but again, because there's different scenes, you have Jeff doing his thing and starting to become a little bit more, not mainstream, but a little bit more accessible to a wider audience within a certain realm. And then you have Satellite, who's also doing his thing, but from a more underground perspective, having the likes of Red Bull Music Academy, all these different always having these different interesting features in magazines, bringing a more cultural, a much cultural aspect, traditional aspect, understanding of the music, and you would say completely opposite worlds, but actually not completely connected. But it's just that because again they evolve in different paradigms, it's hard to perceive it. If you're actually in it, you got to take a step back and observe and say, oh, okay, these are actually very connected. But anyways, all that to say, those different phases of Afro House and evolution happen around the same time, more or less 2 years margin. And then phase 8 is what I had what I was speaking on was actually phase 8, but I needed to give a bit of a inception story here, because the phase 8 was coming to life within phase 6 and 7. But it's just that it needed the impulsion of these two phases, the Afrotech and the Nigerian influence, to now, boom, give some sort of fire to, or I wouldn't say better yet, I would say inspiration. Now, I would have to invite Maporisa or Kabza on the show to actually ask them their perspective and their experience of what I just said, but specifically about Amapiano, what was the starting point of inspiration and what made it evolve to where it has come to nowadays. I mean, it's the most dominating sound worldwide. I mean, it's crazy. If mainstream America uses Afrobeat tracks on their TikToks, young girls and boys, you know that shit took over. And unfortunately, we have to take America as a reference, but yes, because that's where the money is. So, some might say, yeah, but Amapiano is not Afro House. You want to, but okay. Of course, it's not Afro House necessarily, but it is still playable within an Afro House or Deep House set without a problem. Hip hop set, if you want. But the reason why it has been made possible for these sounds to be played is because it came from something initially, and that something is Afro House. And I would go even as deep as saying that deep and soulful house were very important in influencing the different sonic approach of Afro House. But that's another conversation for another time. Yeah. So the movement, Afro House as a movement, as a sound, is 40 years old at least. Just looking at its inception in the early mid 80s, between 35 to 40 years old. That's quite a lot of years the sound has gathered, and there is amazing history you can trace back to. There's so much you can draw inspiration from those eras, and that can influence the future of the sound and continues to influence the future of the sound. I mean, now you have, the likes, the new generation guys who are like, I guess, it's still phase 8/phase 9. Fuck, I think we can actually go at phase 9 now because Shaguada, which is like a sound that, Danny Gatto here in Portugal sort of created with the producers he's working with, is this very banging Afro House sound with very, very electronic and very big room, which is very interesting. And yeah, man, it keeps evolving. But leadership, as Keisha was saying, and we had a conversation together with Keisha many times where, for example, him talking about, the Zouk industry and the Kizomba industry, those industries, have a problem of, including Afro House in this particular case, have a memory issue, and it's almost like you want to kill your heroes, but you can't be doing that because, well, you can, but we won't let it happen. And at least I decided to step in the picture and claiming back, the position that is mine. I mean, I am one of the forefathers of the sound, and I know it sounds cocky to say this shit, but I don't really care because the bottom line is I've earned my stripes, and I don't necessarily need the validation of anyone when it comes to that, simply because I'm not coming here from a perspective of saying I am better than anyone or I'm doing this. No. Let's put things in their order and let's just give everyone their flowers because everyone deserves them. Now, do we need stars? And do we need people that will stick out more than others? Of course. And anybody who is not in accordance with that is silly. Because not everybody is meant to be a star. Not everybody is meant to be in the forefront, under the spotlights. It's not for everyone. Not everybody can be a leader. And there's different forms of leadership. But the bottom line is not to say, oh, I'm better, I'm this, I'm that. No. We are here to just set a very important precedent in telling the truth. I was there from the inception. So with all due respect, I've seen all the guys coming up. I've hooked up a lot of people. I've done this, and I will continue to do so, and I'm continuing to do so because that's just the way it works. The other day I was checking out this big American producer who wrote a message on his Instagram saying that he had done so many favors to rap artists, waved to some of his publishing deals, that really just gave a lot of things out of love and support, and that when it was time for him to ask favors back, nobody was there or very few responded. And that led him to decide not to do that anymore. And I was like, I understand the frustration, but as my brother Kay and Keisha and I, we spoke about literally yesterday again, referring back to, and I'm paraphrasing, but to the late, may he rest in peace, Jacob de Varieux. If you are in this, who said that if you are in this industry to get acknowledged and to be thanked for whatever contribution you've done in someone's career or in the industry, point blank, you're in the wrong business, and you shouldn't be here, truthfully, to be getting any of these kind of, accolades, even though it's always nice. But you should always and never forget that this is a business, and you need to carry yourself as a business, considering, that whether we want it or not, once you're done creating the art, everything after that is just money, and it's trying to make sure that you can make it work for you and to your benefit. So I think I want to be using this conversation, sending that to a couple of people, journalists, that I think are honest enough. I want to ask a couple of other guys to step in and speak as well, add dates and stuff, and write a proper fucking article that trace back, because we, with all due respect, but that's just me. Now that's me personally saying, not only have we earned our flowers, and I'm not thinking you heard well. I didn't say I've earned, alongside the others I have earned my flowers, but we've earned our flowers, and we need to be given our flowers. And if we're not going to be given our flowers, it's okay. We're taking our flowers, we're putting them ourselves, because you know what? We know what we have done. Bottom line is, it's not about trying to, catch, since everyone else is winning, and because we're beaten, we want to say, well, we started this whole thing. Because I know that narrative, which is very silly. The bottom line, it's not even about that. It's just about telling the story as it should be told, just from the beginning. And you don't have to be all long like I just was, but placing things back. Now, understand that, and I would have to find that article again, but that article is very interesting to me, and it's like the one that I read today. I was just like, oh, fuck, man. Everything is about South Africa, this, South Africa, that. Of course, South Africa has done a lot, but come on, what about Angola? What about Kenya? What about Senegal? What about Ivory Coast with Coupe de Calais? What about Angola with Kuduro? What about Kenya with El Cafe, with Blankets and Wine, and those big events that were doing big things back then, and really have launched the sound? What about Morocco with Chocolate Club of Mehdi Damir at Casablanca? What about Nigeria? I mean, what about all these different countries, that have, Botswana. People overlook Botswana. Do you know how if you think South Africans love their music, you gotta go to Botswana. I remember the first time I went to Botswana, I was with Ndinga Gaba, a brother, big shout out to my brother Ndinga, out in Baltimore. Another Central African brother, by the way. We went to Botswana. Yo, the level of fans, they knew all of the goddamn sounds we were playing. There was not a song they didn't know. We thought we were playing, they're like, nah, we know this shit. They were singing along. They knew the melodies, they knew the breaks. South Africans as well. No, don't get me wrong. I remember House 22 in Pretoria. First gig. Black Coffee is there, Kulo the Song, Mzilikazi wa Africa, DJ Spilulu is there. Man, there was a couple of other dudes that were there, Yo, all of us. And at the time already, Coffee was doing very good already at the time. You could already tell that he was standing out, And Kulo was, playing right before me. No, I was playing before Kulo actually. So when I spun, I remember, man. I remember this guy, Mopala. Oh, man, this brother. Man. Whoa, amazing energy, bro. Amazing. Oh, man. It was just something. And it was unique. But, again, let's not overlook all those who have done what they have done. Because it is important to really give to everyone their flowers. Man, DJ Fresh, come on. Nobody can forget the big dog, DJ Fresh. Can't forget the likes of Greg Maloka from Kaya FM, who's done a lot, back then. Who else? Man, there's just so many people. I remember even in Sudan, I wasn't on that radio. I had a show there as well. For about a year or so in Sudan. Oh, how can I forget the name of the radio? Anyways, let's not underestimate the power of our industry and the power of numbers. We may not have a nation behind us, but we have nations and niches within each nation that are willing to support the sound we do. But what needs to happen is that, just like anything, we need a historiography of this music. When I see documentaries produced by, the likes of, what's the name? The guys from Rise. I've seen different documentaries, only pushing one side of the thing, which I have nothing against the guys from Rise. I think they're doing a great job, and I think that, big shout out to them. They've booked me before. They said, and they've shown love. But I think that the problem with documentaries and with this kind of things, everybody will tell the stories, and that's okay. But within you telling the stories, tell your stories right, you know, and even though you might be the new kings now, don't forget that those who were there before you. Not saying that you need to absolutely do it, but let's not play the game of what the colonialism has done, which was making us forget of our greatness and those who have helped us before, you know, colonialism came about and fought shit over. Those who gave the letters of nobility to our forefathers. Just like we honor those who came before us in the game, we're gonna honor those who came after us. Because all the shit, the reason why, you know, guys like myself, the Black Coffees, the Jeff, the Satellite, the K-Shot, all of us in our own industries, and actually, well, let me finish that sentence before I drop into that. All of us have paved the way, but we don't necessarily need to brag about it, because that's our duty, that's our role. We are here to build legacy way after we're gone. But it can't be built if there's no acknowledgement of the true history of things. You know, I agree with you, Papa Kesha. I'm definitely going to be doing a series with the Afro House legends. And we will be doing that, definitely, without a goddamn doubt. But talking about Kesha, for example, you said different scene. I remember to this day, MCM Africa. I was in Bria, Central African Republic. Kesha is 10 years older than me. I was listening to his music as a kid in Bria, and being amazed at this guy's shit, and I was like, whoa, I want to do that shit. To now call him a brother and somebody with whom not only I draw knowledge, but also share knowledge and work with. This is why you have got to understand, when you know your worth and you've worked hard to earn your stripes, you cannot feel any specific way but being humbled, because this is a God-given gift upon which you've worked, upon which you've dedicated time and energy.